What is up, guys? Today we are going to do a review on the Squat Max MD, the partnership one by Bells of Steel. Actually, it's by Titan Fitness, but I hate Titan Fitness. So it's a pretty good machine, so I feel bad giving them credit for doing a good job with something, even though it wasn't their idea. It was someone else's idea that they licensed, which is actually a good business move because Titan sucks at doing their own shit. Let's go. So the Squat Max MD give you a walk around tour here. These are your handles that turn out, which then move these safety bars out so you can squat. As you can see, definitely didn't tape over Titan Fitness there. It's just a Squat Max MD. It does have some cool attachments that I did not get. There's one that adds for hip thrust. There's one that can go here that becomes a chest supported row. Nice addition for them was putting wheels on it. It's a little handle to lift it so it's easy to move around. The removable seat, which honestly at first I wasn't quite sure if I wanted it or not, but between sets it is nice to be able to sit down and unhook and rest before you hit your next set. The belt that it comes with is a good design. Lots of different loops, so you're not having to change chain length. You just have to go into different loops. This is the carabiner that I got separate because the one that Titan came with is really the one piece that they were in charge of doing themselves without adult supervision. I had 135 on there with the client, and we went for a bunch of reps, and it was a spin lock collar, and it got stuck. I had to use vice grips to unscrew it, which is something you probably shouldn't have to do. So good job, Titan. The one thing you were responsible for. It also has, as you can see here, this little eyelet and a removable post. So that is so when you belt squat, the weight is still directly under you when you squat, and then you can take it out if you're doing free squats and just hook into that eyelet right there. It has these X's to give you center so that you know where to be standing so you're not banging plates on the edge. So we turn the handles out and we can squat. So the pin itself is 15 pounds empty, so I usually put a 25 and a 5 just to make sure it's 45 pounds because barbell math is the only math. And you'll see here, I got a 10-pound bumper on there, and it gets a little tight on the loading. So you'll want to make sure when you're standing, you'll figure out real quick, if you're too far back from here, you're going to clip the back end. If you're too far forward, you're going to clip the front end. So you'll figure out your lining up, and once you know that, you're pretty much good to go, and it's a super solid piece of equipment. Okay, another thing to be aware of is if you are squatting heavy and you get stuck in the bottom, that can be kind of an issue, because if you're stuck and you can't dig in here and pull in and push to get up, that can cause some issues, especially if the box is a little too high. So right now, I'm sitting on the seat, but it is not touching the ground. And if I am not strong enough to figure that out, it is a bit of a hazard that you should just be aware of. I'm not saying you should definitely not, you should not max out the box squat or the belt squat, because if you get stuck, it is not a good time. You know, I've been to the point where I've had to be going down on a knee and trying to figure things out to get unconnected, or have someone come over here and help me stand up. Similar to if you're box squatting in a rack and you don't have the safety set properly, you might get stuck and it's a bit of a disaster. So just be aware of that. Other things like the Rogue Rhino, even Titan's other belt squat that they sell, which is not my favorite. Lots of other belt squat options out there where that's not an issue. So something to just be aware of. Also, if you are stuck in the bottom and you finish, but you get out and you have plates down there at the very bottom, that can be a problem. Just loading, unloading is a little more cumbersome that way. Definitely some other things we can do with this besides just squatting though, and that's what we'll cover next. So we do quite a bit of strongman at the gym here as well, and one of not a super common event, but an event that we like to do is the Ukrainian deadlift, which is basically a sumo deadlift. I know, strongman, sumo deadlift, crazy. But it is with essentially a T-handle and you're deadlifting from a deficit there. Now, the only trick with this one is you will either need someone to help kick these out, or you'll have to start at the ground already. So starting at the ground already is when you're by yourself, pretty much the only option if it's going heavy. But then we have that Ukrainian deadlift work we can do. And I very much enjoy that. And if you have a crew to help you with the handles, loading and unloading is fine. If not, you're gonna have to load and unload from down there, which is a pain, as we mentioned previously. But this is a cool variation you can use it for without buying the attachments. Now, let's talk about pricing, logistics, ins and outs of everything that is the belt squat, Squat Max MD, specifically when you're getting it from Titan. So if you followed me on social medias at strongman_Dan, you would already know I am not the hugest fan of Titan Fitness. Their stuff is very affordable, and early on it was between Rogue and Titan Fitness. And Titan Fitness was half the price of Rogue, and they stole Rogue's exact designs and just made them bolt together instead of welded, so it saved a bunch of money on shipping. They went international rather than American. So it was just, if you had a budget, Titan was literally the only option. Now you have things like GetRx, you have Titan Fitness, you have Bells of Steel, you have any number of major fitness, you have so many other companies in that space, and Titan used to be able to get away with really poor customer service because they were the only game in town when it came to budget. Now they are not. That is my issue with Titan. About half the time, it'll be awesome. About half the time, it'll be a complete train wreck, and they will not take care of you as a customer. Now, that being said, for this belt squat, if you go and get it from Henny on squatmaxmd.com or whatever that is, I'll shoot a link in the bottom here. It's about $2,000. I can't remember if it's free shipping or not. Little pricey, good belt squat. Mechanics of the belt squat are awesome. It feels a lot more like a normal squat than a lot of belt squats, but you can get it at retail $200 cheaper from Titan, so $1,800 instead of $2,000. But it's usually on sale at Titan too. Like right now, I think it's about $1,500. I got mine on Scratch and Dent, and it was like $1,200. That was a whole issue customer service wise that they ended up making right, so I took that video down, but they only made it right after bullying and threatening and me being like a real fucking Karen, which I don't love being, but sometimes places need that. So build quality awesome, squat awesome. You just got to be aware of a couple things like the getting your feet right so you're not banging the plates around. And making sure that you are not failing a rep, because getting pinned at the bottom in that belt kind of sucks. If you get the Titan Fitness one, you are going to want to get a different carabiner, because the carabiner they have, if you're going reppy, will lock up and you will be stuck there until you find someone with vice grips to unscrew the damn thing. And if you're going heavy and you don't have it screwed down, I'm sure it's okay, but like, I don't know, I'm a safety second kind of guy, but that's kind of a safety third thing. If it's too heavy and it's not clamped on right, you do you, you'll probably be fine. And hey, while I got you here, like, subscribe, comment, let me know if there's some other stuff you want me to review. I have things coming in fairly often at the gym. but this was one that I kind of wanted to get my hands on and get out to you guys. Build quality, 9 out of 10, with the exception of that carabiner. It is a great machine. I use the hell out of it. I use it a ton with my clients. I just wish Squat Max MD would have partnered with literally any other company than Titan, but congrats Titan for working up a deal that gave you a great product. The accessory pack, which lets you add hip thrusts, the Ukrainian deadlift like I was doing in there, the chest supported row, stuff like that from Titan. All of it together is about $400, which seems a little on the pricey side for me. But if you're in a home gym, I would definitely recommend it, because having another place to have chest supported rows that's not using your bench is very cool. If you want to do hip thrusts, very cool. This is my gym. It's a small commercial gym. So for me, more complexity isn't necessarily a great thing. The more complicated I make things for general membership, the more annoying it is for them. And the more often stuff gets left out that I have to then disassemble and put away, which is not ideal for me. So I did not go that route. Let me know what you guys think about Titan. And if you've tried this belt squat out, about this belt squat, if you have another belt squat that's your favorite, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can get a hold of one and we could check it out. But truth be told, as much grief as I give Titan, that belt squat is a great product, and the price point is good. And as long as it gets to you without them screwing everything up, 100% recommend the belt squat here. Probably over most of the other ones there. I think the only one I've ever used that I liked maybe a little better is the Rogue Rhino. But with that cable system, it kind of keeps you, this feels more like free weight than the Rhino does even. And for us, we do a lot of powerlifting and strongman here. Kind of the applicability to a more direct correlation to squatting is pretty valuable for us here at the gym. And that is all I got to say about that. Link down below. I'll give the Titan link. I don't get commission or anything because I refuse to take their dirty money. But I'll link the Squat Max MD website as well. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you next time.